I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and with Drew Forster, we'll go through the Friday, September the 2nd races at Hastings Racecourse. We do have 7 races on the Friday night program that, of course, gets kicked off at 7 o'clock. And
our last Friday of the summer,
last,
and they've been an absolute
last night
success.
Card, too.
Yeah, last night card. They've been an absolute success. I've loved the Friday nights this year. Very fun, great atmosphere. The betting's been decent. And yeah, another good card. 7 races on tap, and another good card on this Friday night. Jump right into it. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
First race is a Fillies and Mares maiden $4,000 event. Field of 6 signed on. I went to the 5 Flaming Youth here. She was favored in her last. Flopped as the chalk. It was going long. Her first start going long. Now she goes back going long. I think her second start.
Right.
You know, she ran a good second behind Touch of Green last time. Touch of Green came back to run a good second in a non-2 event. I think she's the filly that can win this race. I'll give her another chance. I think she needed the race going long. I think she comes back stronger. Dennis Arrojo sticks for trainer Barb Heads. That's my top pick. I put Go-Go Eileen in the second spot. Another one, been right there in her last 2 route attempts, and it's not an overly tough field, so I landed on her for second. I put On Camera, a good second, 2 starts ago, going long behind Ziggy Meister. I threw her in for third, and kind of a muddled field, but I do think Flaming Youth is the class of the race. I went 5, 4, and 3.
Yeah, no, where do you go in here? You usually want to lean on the horses that haven't run a lot of times, and Flaming Youth at least had some excuses last time. It did have a wide trip. This horse didn't get the best of trips at all. You know, it does show 7th beating a bunch of lengths, but this horse only got beat 2 lengths for second.
Yeah.
And like, ran nowhere. So, I mean, this was a better than looked awful performance.
Yeah, because Whippoorwill Song won with 6.5. And
yeah.
it was a very slow fraction. She was off a slow pace.
And wide, in no position. She'll get into a better trip tonight. And so I went Flaming Youth. I agree with you, Drew. Over the 4, Go-Go Eileen, and the 3 On Camera. 5, 4, 3. There's not a lot to add. I mean, those look like the 3 horses on paper. On to the second race, we do have some 2-year-olds here going 3.5 furlongs, maiden special weight event. And I'm going to go to the 1 Majestical. I'm going to try this one to win it for Troy Taylor. Has some pretty quick works down and got to beat the gate from the inside draw. Not the best of posts for a first-time starter, but still, I respect the connections, and they've opted to run this one 3.5. And I'm going to give this one a shot to defeat, like Mrs. Sport, who will likely be your heavy favorite off of a runner-up effort, but had every shot to win. Mind you, Morning Blurs is probably a pretty nice horse. And the 8, Bonnie Christine, I thought was in the mix as well. This horse actually ran a pretty good race first time out. Didn't have the benefit of the experience like Mrs. Sport did. So that's why I went this one over Mrs. Sport for the second spot. But didn't fall in love with anyone here. I went 1, 8, and 2.
I went with the 7, actually. Catch Me, Mark Lucce's other horse. I thought a very good effort in her first
They could
start.
have that one in there.
Only, I mean, she only got beat about 3/4 of a length behind Mrs. Sport, as you mentioned, who'd be her favorite. It was her first start. It was Mrs. Sport's third start. She had every advantage there. So I went Catch Me on top of Mrs. Sport, as we mentioned, should be your favorite in here. Good second behind Morning Blurs, as you mentioned, probably a pretty nice horse. And I put Mark's other horse, Bonnie Christine, in the 3rd spot. Tough to get a grasp on anybody here, a few first-time starters. These 2-year-old races are tough. Those are the ones I came up with. I came up with the horses that have run, and generally Reyes gets the liver horses out of the Cluche barn.
He does. He does a lot of work there.
That's why I got Catch Me on top of Mrs. Sport and Bonnie Christine. 7, 2, and 8 for me in the second. On to the third.
Conditional 8.
8 non-3 for older colts and geldings. Going 1 mile and a 16th. I landed on the 3 here, Admiral Jackson. Been bouncing around. He won one of those 16 non-2, non-3s recently. Then he had a wide open 16 with Venetian Mask and Senior Rojo Wilo Cat.
Right.
That's a pretty tough spot. Came back, set all the early fractions, going 1 mile 16th. In his most recent, and they all came from late and got him, like Royal Briar, Perfectly Reckless, Merlot. Now he goes to the $8,000 level. I like Admiral Jackson on top of Tucci, who's just missed twice in a row at this level behind Distillery and Wee Harry. He's close. I put him on top. And Rosie's Notice, who's been right there in all of his starts at this level. Those are the 3 for me. Those are the 3 I would use, and I'd say you need all 3. 3, 1, and 6 for me.
Yeah, I agree. I have the same 3 horses. I've just kind of flip-flop them around. I like Rosie's Notice to win it. I think this one will come from off the pace this time, which is what he wants to do. I mean, he went out there. He had the 9 hole last time. had the gun for position, got up on a ridiculous pace, and ended up obviously tiring late. And the horse doesn't run that way. His best races are when he has a target in front of him. He's going to have a target in here with Tucci, Admiral Jackson, Four She's Devil, and Power to Believe in the race as well. So, I mean, Amadeo's not going to the front this time. Or Reyes rode the horse last time because Amadeo was in Seattle riding in the Longacres Mile. Yeah, but Rosie's notice will be off the pace this time, and I think he's better suited to having horses in front of him. He won this same condition 2 starts ago. I'm going to try him to win it. Hopefully the public forgets about him after that terrible, looks like a, subpar effort last time, and gives you a 4 to 1 on him, but you never know. So I like him to win it. Tucci, he's a cool horse. He just continues running good race after good race. He's versatile. He can go to the front. He can come off the pace. And I got him in for second, and I put Admiral Jackson for third. I don't like to see horses taking big class drops. Well, it's not a big class drop. It's 1 level down. But still, he had every shot to win last time. And it looks like he's going the wrong way, and that's the only thing that bothers me. He may win by 5. Don't get me wrong. He may just gallop away from these horses and win for fun. But I just see I see a regressing trend in his form, and it's worrying me a little. I'm going to go 6-1-3 in the third. On to the fourth race. $4,000 fillies and mares going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the 5 horse here, Catching Fire. Should be able to find her way to the front in here. Didn't manage to get to the front last time on a slow pace. Mind you, the track was pretty dead that day, but still, I like Catching Fire to just be shot off to the front by Skylar Whiteshield and play Catch Me If You Can. Not a lot of other speed around Catching Fire, so I like her to win it. I put the 1 horse Moonride in for second. She should rebound with a good effort. She, ran a little. I thought she had would have been more of a force last time, but still, I don't want to give up on Moonride. And I put the 3 horse Farniente in for third. This horse has been freshened up. A couple of good works for Craig McPherson. Put that one in for third. I went 5, 1, and 3.
I went to the 4 Biscuit, Mel Snow's horse in here. It took her forever to win her non-2. Then she wins her non-2, comes right back, wins a non-3. It just seems like she's getting good at this time of year. And when, especially with fillies, when they get good, they can keep kind of rolling. And now she's got her non-2. She rolled right into her non-3. I think she can keep going and get her non-4 in here. I like the confidence she has right now. So I put Biscuit on top of Moonride. I agree with your second pick. She definitely belongs in here. She's been running in some tough horses all year. Rachel Run kind of got an easy lead last time and never looked back. And Catching Fire is the obvious choice in there. I put her in the third spot. But those are my horses in here. 4, 1, and 5 for me in the fourth. On to the fifth. Thrilled up, 62.50, sprinting, going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 9, got to keep going. Field of 11 in here. And I landed on the 9, Lassie's Reward. Coming to those very tough starter races, and he wasn't getting disgraced in there. Only beat 3 by Citron Kid, 5 last time that Western Heritage Shoe Schwabster Barkley race. That was a tough race. Now he's in for 62.50. Lopez and Troy Taylor going very well together right now. I got Lassie's Reward on top of the 7 Stratify, who just missed at the 62.5 level behind the very well-meant Fleming's Beach. And last time, a dirty nose by Similkameen Joey. Looked like he won the race.
I thought he should have won the race.
It looked like he won the race.
Well, he should have won. He hopped in the air at the start. There's an inquiry about the start. He cost him like 4 or 5 lengths.
Yeah, he had a brutal trip. Only got beat a nose, so he's very live. I got him right back. And I put Mr. Candy, another horse that's won 2 in a row, is going the right way. And it goes to the next logical spot. He won his non-3, got his non-4. Now he has to go for 62.50, but he's on a roll, as is his trainer, Mike Anderson. 9.74 for me in the fifth.
Yeah, I agree with the 9. Lassie's Reward should just absolutely blow the doors off of this.
He has been in much tougher company.
Anything close to his top form, this horse wins this race for fun. I mean, obviously overmatched not overmatched, but he deserved to be in the race against those in the starter series.
He was running well, but they're considerably tougher.
But those are tough horses, and Lassie's Rewards and a much easier. This is like a huge class drop for Lassie's Reward. This horse is live. I put the 3 horse Majestic Mark, who's shortening up. I like playing horses shortening up off the route races to a sprint, and give this horse a chance with pace casualty going along at 1 1/8 miles, and I think this horse could be better sprinting. And I put the 7 horse Stratify. I agree. Terrible beginning last time, cost him any chance of winning, and he almost won the race, which is crazy. That's how good this horse ran. That was for $4,000 though. He's up for 62.50. I went 9, 3, and 7, but Lassie's Reward looks really good in race number 5. On to the 6th race. 62.50 claimers here going 1 mile and a 16th. Another good handicapping affair. Got the big classy Bear Rock and Roll dropping in class through the outside post. I've got him for second. I went the one, Francer's Finest. When this horse is at his best, he is good enough to beat, Bear Rock and Roll as well. So I like Francer's Finest to win it. Nice confidence boost last time, and going to be pretty dangerous, but going to need to be at his best to defeat the 8, Bear Rock and Roll. Cool dude, dropping in class, and this race didn't come up tough. Bear Rock and Roll is going to be pretty dangerous in here. And I put the 3-horse Brother Dash too. Got a nice confidence win last time at the 4,000 level. Up in class again, but he's been competitive against these as well. I went 1, 8, and 3, and honorable mention to Wee Harry, who might get a good pace to run at. He's a horse that has won for a little more money, but I went 1, 8, 3.
I don't have a whole lot to add. I agree. Franzer's Finest looked very comfortable winning that last mile 16th race.
There's lots
seemed
left.
to do it with ease, and this is just the one notch up the ladder. It should be well within his grasp to win this. I got Bear Rock and Roll in second, 24-time winner, 13 at today's distance, and drops for a new low for 62.50, and Top Connections can't throw him out. And Brother Duster, I agree, same as you, Mike, in the 3rd spot. Been battling out with tough horses. Went down to the 4,000 level. He only won by 3/4, but he did it, comfortably. It wasn't in any danger. My 4th horse, my nod, yours was Wee Harry. Mine would be the Nana's Buddy, who's been right there all year. But I went 1, 8, and 3 in the 6th. On the 7th, 3-year-old and up, non-winners of the year, going 6.5 furlongs. And I've gone to the outside. I went to Swiss Arrogant here. Another horse been running very well, laid off the pace and gave Mr. Candy a good run last time. Looked like he was going to get him, couldn't quite get there, but Swiss Arrogant's been on form all year, and I like him today. I like the fact he's on the outside, and Jose Gomez, or Asensio, can get him in a good spot. I got him on top of Persisting, the wild card in here, a horse coming up from Turf Paradise. Hasn't ran, would have been my pick because he's got good buyers. He's a horse that's been on a roll, but he hasn't ran since March, so I'm going to give the nod to Swiss Arrogant. Persisting for me is the 2nd spot. And up at Broward County, another tough old horse, always shows up to run. I put him in the 3rd spot. I went 8, 2, and 3 in the nightcap.
Yeah, not a race I fell in love with. I agree the 8 Swiss Arrogant's going to be dangerous for Dave Milburn, and this horse did run a good race behind Mr. Candy last time, and might the outside post might be better for him, actually. Yeah. I went to the 5 Mario's Win, shortening up, 1 mile and 16th to 6.5. The Craig McPherson no longer trains the horse, goes to Julie Wick's barn. Of course, unfortunately, one of our good racing friends, Bob Ross, passed away, who did race under the Grey Ross stables, and so a lot of his horses you'll notice getting sold and moving on to different owners. But condolences to the Ross family. Bob, he's like 90 years old. Like he lived a great life, but I hate to see a long-time racing owner leave us. But the Grey Ross stable is now out of the business, and you'll notice a lot of the horses being shifted off. But this is one of them, Mario's Win. And I think this horse back into sprint is going to be pretty dangerous, or Mario Saunders will ride. And I want Mario's Win to defeat the 2 Persisting in the 8 Swiss Arrogant. I'm going to go 5, 2, 8. Close out the Friday night program, our last Friday night event of the season. That'll do it for the Friday analysis. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. Back in race number 1, I went to the 5-horse Flaming Youth, 5, 4, and 3 for me in the Friday opener. Race number 2, I went to the 1 Majestical, 1, 8, and 2. Race number 3, I went to the 6 Rosie's Notice. But 6, 1, and 3 are all interchangeable in race 3. Race number 4, the 5-horse Catch and Fire. I'm hoping she is the lone speed. I went 5, 1, and 3. Race number 5, the 9, Lassie's Reward on the big class drop, 9, 3, and 7. Race number 6, the 1, the ultra consistent Francer's Finest. Nice win last time. It's going to be tough again. 1, 8, and 3 for me in the 6th. And then the 7th and final, I'm going to go to the 5, Mario's Win, 5, 2, 8. Close out the Friday night program. On to Drews.
Up next, there we go. In the 1st, I agree with Mike. I went to the 5 Flaming Youth over the 3 and the 4. In the 2nd, I went to the 7 Catch Me over the 2 and the 8. In the 3rd, number 3 Admiral Jackson over the 1 and the 6. In the 4th, I went to the 4 Biscuit over the 1 and the 5. In the 5th, I agree with Mike on number 9 Lassie's Reward over the 7 and the 4. In the 6th, again, I'm with Mike on number 1 Franzer's Finest. Love him today over the 8 and the 3. And in the nightcap, I went to the 8 Swiss Arrogant over the 2 and the 3.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. Hopefully we've given you a little insight, or at least some good insight into the Friday night program. Hopefully get you making some winning decisions as you head up to the windows to make a few wagers. Our next live card will be Monday. Of course, the holiday Monday. It is Labor Day.
Yep.
We do have 8 races on the Labor Day program. No stakes races. We're saving those
Saving
all
that for
for
the Saturday,
Derby
yeah.
Day on September the 10th. That'll be a Saturday, but our next live card will be Monday, 1:50 post. We have 8 races for you. Should be a lot of fun on the Monday afternoon program, closing day at the P&E. On behalf of Drew, thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.